We don't need a federal Congress. This is their entire schedule for the entire year. What's going on in August? We just have the entire month of August off. April, you got 2 weeks off. In May, you got a week. In June, you got a week. In March, you got a week. How many of you blue-collar people out here have full fucking weeks off every single month? Before you even come for me saying, well, this is so they can go back to their districts and do their town halls and do their... No, I haven't seen my senator ever. Hasn't been in any of the bigger counties. She hasn't done any town halls. The only time I ever see my senators is when they are running for re-election. You can miss me with that pick-me bullshit. So just because I was curious, I asked Grok, just on average, how much our congressmen make. Salary of members of the United States Congress, including both representatives in the House and the senators, is $174,000 per year, and that's on the low end. It applies to rank and file members and has remained unchanged since 2009. However, certain leadership positions receive higher salary, including the Speaker of the House, who's done nothing. Mike Johnson has done nothing, sitting at $223,500 a year. Temp and majority leaders and minority leaders in both chambers earn $193,000 per year. That also doesn't help explain, like, those like Jasmine Crockett. How is she worth $9 million? Does she have 3 different homes? Done nothing. They haven't certified any of Trump's picks. They haven't passed any laws. They haven't passed any legislation. But what about the law about keeping men out of women's sports? Well, that didn't necessarily go through in every state either, because a lot of states filed lawsuits that are still pending. Luna came out on Jesse Waters last night and she's like, listen, we are trying to get the tape that proves that the JFK assassination was not Lee Harvey Oswald. Lee Harvey Oswald was videotaped next to the limousine, so he couldn't have shot it. Like, be so fucking for real right now. We all know he didn't shoot him. How has NBC had this tape for 60 years? 60 years. 6-0. And it hasn't even been theorized by anybody. Alex Jones himself haven't really picked up on the tape that it exists. Was it that Paulina Luna, who used to be, what, a stripper, I guess, at one point in time in her life, or a dancer, I don't know. How is it that she is the one that gets first crack at this video? About Alex Jones all you want, but how is it not Alex Jones that gets first crack at this video? He's been screaming this for years, decades. Thing I've ever seen these people do is go into their committees and their hearings and they say strong things and they blame each other and then they all go to lunch together and then they come back and they write strongly worded letters and then they go on Fox News or Jesse Waters and they're like, well, I said this is how it's going to be and this is what she said and now we can't get anything done because of the Democrats. Now we can't get anything done because of the Republicans. You can't get anything done because you don't want to get anything done. That's the point. Because the grandstanding and the theatrics is the only reason that you're still there. The fix is easy. Each and every state has their own House of Representatives and their own Senate. My own Senate in my own state of Iowa passed this week a bill stating that we could not sue pesticide companies if their pesticides do indeed end up causing us cancer. We all know they cause cancer. Banned in like 25 other countries. But they got it passed with no problem. No fanfare, no Fox News interview, nothing. It'll go to the House. It'll probably die in the House the way that it sounds. But the Senate still got it passed. We can get rid of federal Congress and we can replace them with our state local congressmen. Go up to D.C. a couple times a year and they can vote on the things that they need to vote on. There's no reason for them to be in D.C. for an entire month. There's no reason for them to be flying back and forth. They can go a couple times a year. They can pass things that are in accordance to what their state wants, and they can come right back here and they can face us all with what they did. The answer's pretty fucking simple, in my opinion. Talk about cutting costs. You want to talk about Doge trying to cut costs when it comes to our federal government. Flying back and forth and owning apartments in D.C. and getting hotel rooms in D.C. Do you think they pay with that out of their own pocket? Probably not. They probably write it off. To mention the stock, right? We all know you're insider trading. We all know it. I understand that it'll never happen. I understand this is probably the last step before I'm fully blackpilled, but something needs to be done. This whole thing needs to change. You know it. I know it. Everybody that's paid even the closest amount of attention knows it. Been damaged for a really long time, and it needs to change. I doubt when our forefathers set this all up way back when that this was how they anticipated it going.
They didn't. They rolled over in their graves, saying, "Why ain't y'all boys doing something?"
I will die on the hill that
deer pussy is calling something that. Now you know, deer pussy is calling someone a pussy is not a reference to a certain part of a woman's anatomy. It's short for pusillanimous, showing a lack of courage or determination, timid.
Set of attacks because
JFK got a mistress.
I love what Trump's doing. I just hope he keeps it up and doesn't flag. There are establishment rhinos within his government who are slowing him down. But I'm a huge fan of what he's doing. Support it all, especially the election integrity thing. He just signed the executive order. I think it's a good start. I think there's flaws in it, and I see the flaws coming from, let's say, the Harmeet Dillon wing. Harmeet and the people who are establishment are going to be pushing back against draconian reforms in elections, and that's why you see in that election integrity order. There's stuff about how the feds are going to cooperate with the secretaries of state and share information, this and that. nonsense. There's 6 secretaries of state that need to be arrested. The ones who are overseeing the 2020 election, and those 6, they need to be arrested. This is not about cooperation with them. So we have, but I think Trump will get there, and that executive order is a big step in the right direction.
And he said when he signed it, we played the clip, he said, oh, we know who did it, and you're about to see it all. You're in a lot of trouble. And he doesn't just say stuff like that.
I know exactly what he's talking about, and I would not want to, I've spent the last 2 years overseas researching this stuff. I know what's coming down the pike, and I think some people are going to have a really sad future. He's not bluffing. Trump is not bluffing.
The government fears Alex Jones, who has the largest audience in the country, bigger than any of the networks, the biggest megaphone in the country.
The deep state hates Alex Jones with a vengeance.
Alex Jones is the most extraordinary person I've ever met.
All right, Patrick Byrne is a very successful businessman, CEO, and somebody that's done spy work for the U.S. government and fighting foreign espionage. Enemy Within docuseries.com, at Patrick Byrne on X. He's an American patriot, founder of Overstock.com, $2 billion enterprise. He holds a bachelor's degree in Chinese studies, and it just goes on from there. Most people know who Patrick is. He's been instrumental in exposing the deep state and their criminal operations and the Hillary Clinton crime network that he was sent in to expose as more. And he never talked about this for years until it came out in the news that he'd done that work in service to the country. And I really appreciate him coming on. He also, trailblazed exposing the 2020 election fraud. We've been vindicated on that. Now Trump signed executive orders on that to really dismantle that. Amazing developments, pulling us effectively out of the WTO. It's doing all these one-sided deals. He wants to focus today on Venezuela, which is a key component in all of this. And we had Maduro, the dictator down there, come out a month ago and say, look, we were told by Biden they would take the sanctions off. We played the clip. Why don't we find that Maduro clip again? I think the headline is Maduro. The headline was Maduro surrenders to Trump. We'll find the video. But the real thing was, he said, look, you got all the documents. Your FBI has it. We have it. Biden told us to send this terror gang up there, and he would take the sanctions off. And of course, I already was talking about, Patrick was, but he's got the inside scoop on this. It's a really big deal. We have a clip from Tulsi Gabbard, the head of the Office of National Intelligence Coordination, talking about it in Congress yesterday. He wants to get to that first, but obviously I want to talk about the Ukraine war, this Franco-Anglo alliance sending in troops to try to escalate it, all the things going on, his report card on Trump, what he thinks we should look out for, the Tesla attacks, the swatting, all of it. Patrick, good to have you here.
Great to be. It's an honor to be here at InfoWars World Headquarters.
Yeah, well, they're trying to shut us down as we speak. I'm not.
I know.
It's crazy.
What a crazy judgment that was. I can that basically was a directed verdict.
It was
terrible, essentially.
Well, we now have the documents. We're releasing them 100% by Monday, where the Justice Department funded it all. Yeah, illegally. Yeah, and Trump just sanctioned the Paul Weiss law firm for their stuff against him.
And didn't they, as I recall, the judge wasn't literally a directed verdict, but the judge told the jury that because you were asked for a PowerPoint and you said there is no PowerPoint, they have to assume that there was a PowerPoint. Were you planning?
Well, that's just one part of it. I was defaulted in Texas, and this is a case went on for 4 years before. They coordinated the first trial in Texas, and the next month, this is 2.5 years ago, in Connecticut, HBO produced it. They had scripts. I was told all these things I couldn't say, the same list, and so I was already found guilty, claiming I didn't do discovery, which wasn't true. And then they just said all this stuff that I did that I didn't do, and we couldn't redirect. We couldn't counter.
So it was another kangaroo trial, like what just happened with Teen.
I mean, it's the worst ever. I mean, literally beyond a railway, right into the civil jailhouse with kangaroos driving the train.
Okay. Well, and I know people who don't think this is wrong. These people, I know people in the law, professors and such. They're proud of their lawfare strategy. This is a Bolshevik revolution.
They brag about it.
Yeah.
But enough about me. You're always kicking ass. You're a really smart fella. I've known about you for a decade and really liked your work, but I didn't know how instrumental you've been behind the scenes. You're like an angel. You're a busy beaver.
I don't know about that. You're funny. I feel I listen to you some days. I feel like you're stroking my face with your fingers, singing my pain with your words. I can't believe how similar our thinking turns out to be. I would not have known this. Well, you have it all correct. WEF, China, everything. You've got it all figured out.
Well, it's right there. I mean,
the dots are so close, they're almost touching.
But for those of us that research it all the time, it seems so obvious But finally, the general public started to get some understanding.
Right. And those who aren't, it's like trying to argue with a TV set to try to convince them at this point. People are still lining up for their COVID shots. It's like trying to convince a TV.
Yeah, they think we're trying to show off that we know how the world works.
Yeah.
And what's funny is you read with the Chinese or the Russians or the CFR, it's all what we're saying up at this adult table, like everybody else at the little kid table at Thanksgiving. They're openly admitting this. It's not like it's our opinion, and we're like, hey, look, this is how it works. And they're like, no, you're crazy.
Yeah, you got it largely right. You know, I'm a member of the CFR, but we're not supposed to talk about that. I haven't been in about 18 years. So.
Well, not everybody in there is bad. We know it's a British World Roundtable Group, type globalist organization. I'm not saying anybody's bad that's been in it, but absolutely, but that's critical to the whole kind of shadow system.
Well, the whole NGO think tanks around Washington, D.C., of which CFR is one, and used to be the most powerful. I'm not even sure it is anymore, but it's that whole think tank world around Washington, D.C., they've been captured by different foreign players. So that's how they get their voices into the national security discourse. Foreign nations like Saudi Arabia and China have very powerful interests and others within that think tank world.
Well, let's do 35,000, and because I really respect your view on that, I want to hear your different perspectives on the world, what Trump's doing, the different power blocks, the war. And then I want to get into the Venezuela thing that I'm glad you're bringing this up. This is something people don't understand how important it is. Let's do that in a moment. But first, Trump, 66 days, 67, 68 days in, how he's doing, what the bad guys are up to. A lot of Democrats, even Bill Maher saying, look, the party's extinct, basically. It's game over. I don't think that's the case yet. We had Michael Savage on yesterday. He said, don't count them out, but they're definitely in trouble.
Never thought we'd see this day. I love what Trump's doing. I just hope he keeps it up and doesn't flag. There are establishment rhinos within his government who are slowing him down, but I'm a huge fan of what he's doing. Support it all, especially the election integrity thing. He just signed the executive order. I think it's a good start. I think there's flaws in it, and I see the flaws coming from, let's say, the Harmeet Dillon wing. Harmeet and the people who are establishment are going to be pushing back against draconian reforms in elections. And that's why you see in that election integrity order, there's stuff about how the feds are going to cooperate with the secretaries of state and share information, this and that. Nonsense. There are 6 secretaries of state that need to be arrested. The ones who are overseeing the 2020 election, and those 6, they need to be arrested. This is not about cooperation with them. So but I think Trump will get there, and that executive order is a big step in the right direction.
And he said when he signed it, we played the clip, he said, oh, we know who did it, and you're about to see it all. You're in a lot of trouble. And he doesn't just say stuff like that.
I know exactly what he's talking about, and I would not want to. I've spent the last 2 years overseas researching this stuff. I know what's coming down the pike, and I think some people are going to have a really sad future. He's not bluffing. Trump is not bluffing.
Well, give us a little. I mean, I've got a good idea, but you've been one of the main guys for the president ferreting all this out. Who are these 6 or 7 we're talking about, and what are we dealing with?
Well, let me be clear. I'm an independent actor. I'm not doing things for the president.
I know, but you do it. You've been running around a lot.
You got it right. So basically, we're living through a World War III. The World War III has 3 dimensions to it. It's the Cuban-Venezuelan have penetrated us through espionage. You're going to find out there's about 20 traitors in the government to Cuba, Venezuela, China. Secondly, the whole election system really is based in Venezuela. It came out of the Venezuelan mafia. It's all corrupt. And third, this Trinidad invasion is the government of Venezuela is behind it, and this is absolutely a invasion. It's covered by the Alien Enemies Act, absolutely, right down the middle of the fairway. So those 3 things. What do you want to talk? And there was just a big development yesterday in Congress with Tulsi Gabbard. She said something very key and subtle. You want to?
Yeah, let's play that clip first, but I want you to just quantify for people that don't know the subtleties. The Democrats have, and their law firms and these NGOs have been using outside governments and communist networks, just like the guy that just got caught burning down the Tesla factory or dealership in Vegas. That's why they've been protecting MS-13. That's why they've been protecting these other groups. And it goes back to Clinton and the CIA setting up MS-13. This is like not our opinion. And you have the president of El Salvador exposing that in Tucker Carlson interviews. But I knew it before. I'm not saying I'm smart, but this has been well known for decades. And now these other gangs, and they use it as the criminal cutouts. They use them to launder money. They use them for enforcement. They use them for murders. That's why 6 years ago, Pelosi said, well, don't be mean to MS-13. They're all God's children. We had the New York Times a few months ago say, don't don't list these drug cartels as terrorists, that'll hurt the stock market. So they're admitting they're doing this. So Trump's really trying to put the CIA out of business, and the left, with their little handmaidens and little gremlins of the drug cartels, but that's still the teeth of the Democrats and some of these other groups. So I want you to quantify that, but here's Tulsi Gabbard, head of national intelligence, yesterday in Congress.
Thank you.
I want to ask about the Alien Enemies Act really quick while I have time. The president has used the Alien Enemies Act, a wartime authority last used to detain German and Japanese nationals during World War II, to summarily deport people accused of being members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Agua. To invoke this law, the president must demonstrate that the United States is under invasion by a foreign nation or government. They have alleged that we are under invasion by the Venezuelan government. The idea that we are at war with Venezuela would come as a surprise to most Americans. The unclassified version of the annual threat assessment the intelligence community just released makes no mention of any invasion or war that we are fighting with the nation of Venezuela. You would think our nation being at war would merit at least a small reference in this threat assessment. And Director Ratcliffe, does the intelligence community assess that we are currently at war or being invaded by the nation of Venezuela?
We have no assessment that says that.
Thank you. In invoking the law, the president alleged that Tren de Agua is, quote, undertaking hostile actions against the U.S. at the direction, clandestine or otherwise, of the Maduro regime in Venezuela. Director Gabbard, does the intelligence community assess that the Venezuelan government is directing Tren de Agua's hostile actions against the United States?
There are varied assessments that came from different intelligence community elements. I'll defer to Director Patel to speak specifically to the FBI assessment.
But let me ask you, so you're saying there are conflicting assessments that have come from the IC?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. We'll take it up in closed session.
Very key. We learned something very key. There's several key things there. So do you want to go to the Maduro clip next? I may have sent you that Maduro clip a month ago.
I think you did. I want you to elaborate. You did. I want you to elaborate on this, though, and fill people in on what's really going on, because the CIA using these gangs goes back to the 80s, and so Trump is really cutting off these networks right now, just like he's cutting off all the other deep state funding around the world. But explain it to people, because you're more about it than I do.
Okay, we learned a bunch of things there. One, the CIA and Radcliffe are not... They're behind. It's absolutely true. Tren de Agua is here at the behest of the Venezuelan government. They're taking direction. I know a lot about that. We can talk about that. The CIA and Radcliffe are wrong. The CIA is going to run circles around John Radcliffe. He's a fine guy. He's a nice man. They're going to run circles around him. Also, we learned from that Tulsi Gabbard is indicating Kash Patel and the FBI do see Tren de Agua as an arm of the Venezuelan government. And that's very good news. That's very, very good news. And also tells us Tulsi has a lot of integrity. And we also learned the Democrats are using this argument, well, the Alien Enemies Act says if we're invaded, if we're at war, the president have this power. Are we at war? Well, no, the Alien Enemies Act says if we're in war, or if there is a penetration of foreign... I mean, there's very broad language that covers exactly what is going on now. You should get that language.
And it 100% fits, because there's Chinese, there's Islamicists, they admit there's Hezbollah all over the place. Of course we've got to use this.
Yeah, look, if you look at...
I mean, are we not invaded people? And is it not done by the UN? We've got to declare the UN a terrorist organization.
At the break, I'm going to find that language and give it to you, and you can put up, you can see it exactly... It's exactly right in the middle of the fairway of what the law says, what Trump is doing. So it's totally justified, but it's very interesting. That tells me Kash Patel and the FBI are where we want them to be. In seeing Tren de Agua as an instrument of the Venezuelan government, which it is.
But at another level of the deep state here, that's why they've been protected.
Right.
What do you make of Maduro coming out a month ago? Again, they have elections, but he's a known dictator, saying, "Oh no, they're not terrorists. They don't work for me. They work for the for the CIA or whatever. And I'll give you no. I mean,
he says check with. It's very funny. He said they give he and another guy there, Jorge Rodriguez, give a lot away on television. He says, hey, don't get mad at me. Check with your FBI in Colombia. Check with your FBI in Panama. We were told to send you these people. Biden told us to send you these people. We'll show you that. That's what he says. It's kind of crazy.
Well, we know that the Democrats have been using all these gangs.
Yeah. Well, it's the Iranian model. In Iran, the secret police no longer go and gun down protesters. They have, when there's some protesters show up at university, these thugs show up, factory workers from the suburbs with 2x4s and beat them up. And the factory gets to say, well, it wasn't us. In Venezuela, the dictator, which incidentally is a mafia, Venezuela is where mafia turns into nation state. So the mafia of Venezuela, which is called the mafia of the Generalissimos, the Cartel de los Soles, is the government. And they went down, the mastermind is a guy named Jorge Rodriguez. He and his sister, who's the vice president, Elsie, went down to Aragua prison in 2009 and made a deal with his prison gang that we'll let you out, you're going to be our muscle, you're going to be our enforcers on the street. So now if you're an Alex Jones in Venezuela, you have to worry not just about the secret police, but about any thugs running.
Sure, I mean, it's like the Nazis in the brown shirts.
Yeah, just like you have now. Don't I understand you are under like cartel threats or something?
That's what Flynn, yeah, we got the intel for multiple, yeah.
So yeah, but that's the standard business model for the Venezuelan regime and the Iranian, and they've just brought it here.
Yeah, that's what the left, the globalists, all of them use that as the cutout, because it's plausible deniability. People getting the orders don't even know where it's coming from.
Right, exactly.
Well, it shows the desperation of the left, though.
Yeah. Well, they did not. I can tell you, their plan was 100%. They thought they had November 5th in the bag. They thought it was completely in the bag. Someday it's going to come out exactly how their rig was defeated. But they had a rig plan. They were 100% confident. Kamala Harris visited some people 5 days before the election, some bankers, not knowing that the bankers know me, and she had her transition team with them, and they were all Obamaites, and they were in this bank saying, opening up like bank accounts for transition and saying, don't believe the press, don't believe the polls, this is in the bag, we're 100% confident, and they were smirking to these bankers, and someone in the room got the messages to me. So they thought they were completely. So the good news is, since November 6th, they've been off script. They had no script for what's happened. So we are completely back, but everything because they had 100% confidence that they were rigging the election.
And from my research and other elections experts, they only have so much fraud baked in, so many dead people, so many mail-in ballots, so much that then they tried in Pennsylvania and the other key battlegrounds at 1 a.m. or midnight to have the trucks out of state pull up, but there were so many people that Trump had sued to be able to have his lawyers at all the key counting systems that they had to literally turn back. We saw that on Fox, like the trucks turning back with the magic ballots. I mean, they were caught with their pants.
All right, Autumn, hold on. Sometimes they deliver to the email, sometimes they won't. We're finna be through with that radiator, so he's finna be back on the road too. And I think they got one wheel seal left. I think they finished one wheel seal out there, and they're doing that other one. All right, what's the total you got, Autumn? All right.
And the EFS code is 219.
Okay.
063 2534.
Okay.
And then the other one, are you ready for that one?
Yes, ma'am.
That one was for 485 even. And then the EFS code is 107 509 6145.
6145. Okay, when I get through with this radiator one, will y'all do a PO on it or just wait till Monday?
You can send it in and then I'll call you back with the payment.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Pants down.
Yes, and all of that did a lot of good and was necessary. Without it, we would have lost. But even beyond that, what they really have is 50. So I've spent the last 2.5 years deeply immersed in this. They're very sophisticated people. I've gotten to know many of them. They understand the election system in detail. They have 15 different ways of cheating. They go into a county and they choose from the county. They look at the county's laws and practices, and they choose from the 14 of the ways. They choose a few.
Hey, Troy. Need to jump off on him? Okay. What's your driver's name?
Driver's name is Charles.
You got a phone number?
Phone number is 706-442-9142.
Truck number?
Truck number is 10923.
And that's at 2715?
Yes, sir.
All right. Jump off and check batteries.
Yes, sir, please. If it needs the batteries, let me know.
All right. I'll have them take batteries with them.
All right, man, I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Hey, let me get the reference.
Oh, yeah, it's 283-832.
All right. Thank you, Troy.
All right, man.
All right. Bye. See which one of them boys want to run that one.
At the end of the day, they have a system. Back in Serbia, they can jam whatever they come on at the 7:01 when the precincts close. They come on and they can jam whatever results they want through the system. So they had to be defeated both in the ground game here and in Serbia. And what's going to come out at some point is what happened in Serbia. And something closed them down in Serbia for the day that made it that you're going to be very interested to hear about someday. And that it made this the victory.
And the digital's one layer. They also then have the illegals voting.
Okay.
They have the people that are out of district in Zuckerberg's list.
Have all these 15 different levels. At the end of the day, what they don't get through the first 14, which are all on the ground, the kinds of ways we talk about, over in Serbia, they can just jam if they still have a little left in it.
You want to run a service call? Oh, yeah, you can't run no service call with 3 kids. It's over in Latonia. Jump off and may need batteries, but I got Buck and Angel up here doing 2 wheel seals. Huh? What?
Makeup, they can jam it through from Serbia.
And that's the desperation. They need the all sorts of little low-level attacks. That's hard to track. But when they're desperate, they come in with a digital fraud, and something happens.
And they are desperate. This is 100 years. This has been a Bolshevik revolution, 100 years in the making. And is very Maoist. They're coming at all levels of society at once.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, you already know this, but we've infiltrated ANFI meetings back when we had time and bigger crew 10 years ago at the UT, the Confucian Society. It's professors, they're open communists, it's Antifa, it's a military operation. They get U.S.-made aid money through Soros, and they literally, we have the worst, it's admitted in the different groups that look at it, Soros DA here, Jose Garza, who is an admitted Maoist. Mm-hmm. He says he is. And I mean, so yeah, their template is Maoism. They admit that.
I lived in China for a year just after the Cultural Revolution. I'm very familiar with the Cultural Revolution. What they are bringing to us is all the techniques of a Cultural Revolution. And it was by the grace of God that it was at least defeated for 4 years now. We, as a republic, dodged a bullet just as close as Donald Trump dodged a bullet in Butler, PA.
Let's play that Maduro clip. This is the communist thug dictator of Venezuela claiming, I know nothing about this gang that Biden told me to send up there. Here it is.
Nosotros quisiéramos que el gobierno de Estados Unidos dejará a un lado las mentiras que está diciendo. Ellos dicen que hubo un plan del gobierno venezolano para invadir Estados Unidos y que lo invadimos con la mal llamada banda del Tren de Aragua. El Tren de Aragua, United States. Entendings, se dice así, para que entiendan, la banda del Tren de Aragua sirvió a los intereses de la oposición que ustedes han apoyado en Venezuela. Iván Duque, presidente de Colombia, se llevó a las bandas criminales, incluyendo la banda del Tren de Aragua, de Venezuela para Colombia, y de ahí la diseminó. Leopoldo López, con Gilbert Caro, dirigía las relaciones con la banda del Tren de Aragua personalmente, y bastantes grabaciones tiene el... FBI.
Now, for radio listeners, I didn't want to read over it. It was in Spanish, obviously, but there's English subtitles there. But what's the reality of what he's saying there? I mean, is any of that true? Because, again, we know the Democrats and the media denied when they were taking over all over the country, not just Colorado, these apartment complexes, robbing people, killing people, extortion.
But just a couple of, remember, somebody said to J.D. Vance, but just a couple apartment complexes. Like,
well, exactly. So, what's really going on here?
Yeah, he's telling something like these guys do. He's lying, but it's close to the truth. They did move these people to Colombia. There's about 20,000. They moved to Colombia with the cooperation of the Colombian president, who's a former FARC leader, communist, narco-terrorist, and was installed by the Venezuelan government. They moved thousands of Tren de Aragua there. They were given fake Colombian identification, moved to Nicaragua, where they were then taken over by the Sinaloan cartel and infiltrated up into the United States. That's been the path of their terrorist leadership into the United States.
And again, for people that still don't get it, I'm not being mean, our main audience is really smart. We have millions of new people that just tune in to see what the show's about. This is classic for different fascist, communist, totalitarian regimes to have thugs. You go back to the Romans during their decline, it wasn't really even using the Praetorian or folks that came after you. It was just the mob. That's where you get the name from. The mob is from the Roman mob.
It gets harnessed and used as a political force by somebody.
A lynch mob.
Yeah.
I mean, the Klan was a thing in the South that was a lynch mob.
So it looks like it's grassroots, but it's actually there's always a direction.
And the KKK is a classic model in America.
Yeah, right. It's always taking direction from somebody. But they want it to look like it's just, well, it's the people. What can I do?
We'll be right back. Methylene blue is all the rage. But for my listeners, we've been talking about it for decades. But finally, they've got factories. They've got laboratories that are producing medical, pharmaceutical, USP grade. And so, our sponsor, thealexjonesstore.com, has it right now, the very highest quality. And I've taken USP grade before, and they claim it's USP grade. It works great. Massive energy, clarity, focus.
Damn, my bad, Dad. My bad, Dad. I was my dad right here, y'all, and these are the top 3 things he taught me on how to cheat and not get caught. How are you gonna leave?
Come on, tell him. I want to hear it. Tell him what do you teach him? Tell him.
Wait,
I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I want to hear this.
So he said,
what did he say?
Number 1 was pay everything with money.
Tell the second.
Make sure she's married.
You know what?
Damn, my bad, Dad. My bad, Dad. I was my dad right here, y'all, and these are the top 3 things he taught me on how to cheat and not get caught.
How to cheat and
Science experiment. Punching a hole in a bowl. If you tap the bottom of a bowl, it will easily break. When you submerge it in water and tap again, it punches a hole effortlessly. Why? Garlic lifting an egg yolk. By rubbing garlic on your fingers, you can easily lift an egg yolk due to disulfide bonds. Round eggs with garlic. Draw a circle with garlic on the bottom of a pan, and the egg you crack into it will cook into a perfect round shape. Pencil through a water-filled bag. You can stab a pencil through a plastic bag filled with water, and it won't leak. A demonstration of the material's elasticity and surface tension. Laser beam in water. When you shine a laser pointer through clear water, no light path is visible. Tyndall effect. Add a bit of milk to the water, stir, and the laser creates a visible light path. Add more milk and the beam becomes harder to penetrate, similar to how fog scatters light. Electrolysis of water. Insert 2 pencils into salt water and connect them to the positive and negative terminals of a battery. You'll see hydrogen and oxygen bubbles formed. Fire extinguisher effect. Mix baking soda with a bit of vinegar in a cup. The resulting carbon dioxide extinguishes a nearby burning candle, demonstrating how fire extinguishers work. Air compression power. You can't pierce an apple with a straw by itself, but if you seal the top of the straw with your thumb and push hard, the compressed air inside makes the straw puncture the apple. Capillary action. Place 2 paper towels in separate cups, one higher than the other. After 10 minutes, the dirty water in one cup flows into the other, leaving cleaner water behind. Opening a stuck can. Place a stubborn jar or can upside down in hot water. After a while, it will open easily due to the expansion of the lid. Atmospheric pressure with a ping pong ball. Place a ping pong ball on the mouth of a water-filled bottle and flip it upside down. The ball stays in place due to air pressure. Non-Newtonian fluid power. Gum alone won't open a coconut, but if you form it into a specific shape and strike it, the coconut breaks, demonstrating the power of non-Newtonian fluids. Atmospheric pressure with a ruler. A ruler can be easily knocked off a table by a heavy object. However, if you place a sheet of paper over the ruler, it becomes impossible to knock off due to air pressure. Static electricity bending water. Rub a straw against tissue paper, then hold it near a stream of water. The water will bend due to static electricity. Transparent cola with milk. Pour milk into a glass of cola and leave it overnight. The cola becomes transparent with sediment at the bottom as the milk reacts with the acid. Water-filled balloon resists fire. A balloon pops immediately when it meets fire. However, if you fill the balloon with water, it won't burst due to the water absorbing the heat.
Team Rock, Adam Blackstone, Hell's Kitchen, the Most High.
Good evening, godless sodomites. Kneel before your God, Babylon! Making me the highest paid megalomaniacal boy king in all of Babylon!
You see, if you go and visit the very home of the Oscars, where they hold it each year, you can see a plaque on the wall that says, the Babylonian Court. The camera shows you the stage, and you see an unmistakable Tower of Babel embedded into the design. Outside of the Kodak Theater, you have the gates to Ishtar, and you have Babylonian gods put on the outside of the gates. They have the exact elephants. They have the same exact gate of Ishtar. They have the same exact Babylonian gods over the top of the gates.
A lot of people come up here and they thank Jesus for this award. I want you to know that no one had less to do with this award than Jesus. He didn't help me a bit. So all I can say is, suck it, Jesus. This award is my God now.
I'm thankful to the Oscar gods.
The other names in the kitchen are all gods as far as the category concerned.
When you get this little golden statue, you become a star. In the Egyptian culture, they also have...
All right, is he good to go?
That's warmed up. Get like 127.
Huh?
It's warmed up to like 127, so I'm ready to drink. I'll be back.
Okay. Hey, I got another one.
You know ready?
No.
What's that?
Batteries.
Huh?
Batteries.
Where at?
In Lithonia.
That's on
About 20. These are 74. What you charge me on that?
On what?
On the service call. I got the batteries.
I usually charge 75, but not service call. Depending on how far it is.
75 on service call?
I can do that.
All right. No, you got a battery tester?
Not with me. I got a meter. That's all I got.
They want to test them because they said somebody left a damn refrigerator on in it.
Oh, damn.
And they want to test it. And if it needs batteries, you know, put them on it. Yeah. So yeah, you need batteries. I'd have to have the cords back.
Yeah.
You wanna run it? I'll give you the address on it.
I'm gonna solve your right.
All right.
Had a little statue that represented the god Ptah. And see, when an Egyptian king died, it was believed that his spirit went into the belt of Orion, and he then became a star. Up until 1999, the Oscars was held at a building called the Shrine, which was founded by William Florence and Walter Fleming, two high-ranking Scottish Rite Freemasons. Hollywood has long been interested in Freemasonry. Gene Autry, John Wayne, Nat King Cole, Duke Ellington, C.C. DeMille, Clark Gable, Walt Disney, Oliver Hardy, you name it, the list goes on. Many celebrities have come out and admitted their connection to Freemasonry. You can see the checkered floor, you can see the archways, you can see the sun motifs in the background. All of these are letting you know exactly who owns this organization.
Not so stunning claims about former President Biden in a new book. It says Democrats quietly began making contingency plans around him more than 1 year before November's election. The authors write, in hush-hush talks starting in 2023, officials gamed out Biden withdrawal scenarios. A grim addition to that, aides to former Vice President Harris, quote, strategized around the possibility that Biden might die in office. Between this and a second new book on Biden, a former CNN political analyst says the former president is in for a rough spring. Let's watch.
Those two books, I feel like, are going to shed a lot of light on how big this cover-up really was. The fact that the Biden inner circle clearly knew he was diminished. They kept him from the media. They insisted to the media he was fine, even while knowing he was not. I have a feeling that by the end of May, Joe Biden and his inner circle are going to even be more persona non grata than they are right now in the Democratic Party.
Leslie, I don't know about you. I'm not surprised about this. I mean, there were reports back in June of 2023 that a top aide under Biden, had said that he had noticed significant cognitive decline. Anyone around the president noticed it, and they were covering it up. And that is something that the American people ought to hear about as far as an intensive investigation as to what the cover-up was all about.
Hello?
Hello, I'm trying to reach Jasmine. Jasmine Crockett?
Yeah, who is this?
This is Terrence. I'm a president over here at OBB out of the Dallas chapter.
What is OBB? How did you get my number?
Okay, I got your number from Benjamin Crump. He gave me your number. And OBB is Our Black Businesses. I've met you before. Didn't you work at Lee Merritt's office for a while? Civil rights attorney?
We worked together for a second. Yeah, we worked together for a second, yeah.
Okay, I was actually working at Lee's place. I think you had just gotten there when I was leaving. But I wanted to give you a call because here at OBB we got a bit of a problem now. We were about to get an award from the Dallas Morning News. We was about to get
well, congratulations. That's awesome.
Well, no, we didn't get it. So we was about to get a Benchmark Business Award, which came with a $2 million grant where we could help a whole lot of black businesses. Now, the problem is we was denied that, and they saying they denied us from some stupid that you said on TV.
I'm sorry, what?
They saying that we got denied of a Benchmark Business Award. They supposed to give us $2 million. We was going to help a lot of business with this. But some that you said on TV, and now they hesitant on giving black organizations any kind of fund.
Well, it probably ain't nothing that I said. It's probably something that Trump done said. It ain't got nothing to do with me.
At the end of the day, we need you not to say nothing for the next 4 years, because this is creating a big problem. Yeah.
Sir,
I mean, you say...
I don't even know... Okay. I'm going to have to direct you to my staff. I only continued this conversation because you said that you knew Benjamin Crump. And Crump is like a big brother of mine. So if he gave you my number, he does not do that lightly. So I'm not really sure what's going on.
He is a friend of mine as well. But the problem is that the that you saying is the problem that I got. And I'm trying to get you to be quiet before you... Some of these Republicans is good white folks. You know what I'm saying?
Sir,
Go ahead.
Well, name them for me.
I mean, I don't have a...
But But nevertheless, I don't know how you got my number, and I'm gonna have to have a conversation with Ben because we have never had this type of situation, and I am sorry that you felt like I had something to do with losing your award. Listen, I want all my black businesses to survive and thrive. And so if there's anything that we can
So what are you doing? What are you doing, Jasmine? What are you doing for black business? What are you doing?
Listen, I do a ton. If you are familiar with the leadership under Pete Buttigieg with the Department of Transportation, the things that we did was we tried to insulate black businesses from an incoming crazy regime like the one that we've had, to make sure that they could still get those contracts to be able to go out and work on these big infrastructure projects and things like that. And I honestly have a great relationship with the black businesses in my community. I'm surprised that I've never met you. I work with the Black Chamber of Business, and we always do events together. And I would love to bring you and your organization into the fold. But this, I gotta go. But you can call my office, and my staff can help you.
So now you ain't got time for black people. You ain't got time to talk to me.
No,
now you got to go. You got to run.
I always have time. But this is getting a little bit more hostile than I typically like to deal with, because if you've seen me, I know how to pop off, and I don't want to pop off because I understand your frustration. You're talking about losing $2 million, so I get it, but I would rather be productive and figure out how we can get that money back for you. I know people at Dallas Morning News, and so hopefully I can assist you with that, but I can assure you that money doesn't have anything to do with me and anything that I've said.
They saying this is behind some shit you definitely said. You said some shit on TV, and this is the reason why. This is the reason why they holding back on giving us the grant for my organization.
Okay.
And I'm sure this probably started when you got on there with that white lady with that bleach blonde, bad built beach body. When you did that, that's probably what created the problem on now.
I don't think so. Honestly, that was a white woman at work that disrespected me, and I got nothing but love when I called Martin a bleach blonde, bad built bush body. So if it offended you, I don't know if you blonde or bleach or bad built. I don't know, but I will say that a lot of people were happy that I stood up to a bully. In the same way you and your organization are being bullied out of y'all's money, I am going to absolutely make sure that I fight those bullies back on your behalf. So you should just take from that moment and recognize that I cannot be pushed around by anybody.
You messed up all our money, and now you're trying to figure out why I'm upset about it. Yeah, I'm upset about it. I'm trying to get you to understand. But really, honestly, for the next 4 years, we need you to sit down and be quiet. That's what we really need you to do.
Sir, I don't want to fight. It sounds like you want to fight, but listen, as a public servant, I am really trying to serve the people. So just tell me how it is that I can help you instead of
sit down and be quiet, bitch.
What we need to do is focus on how we're going to get you your money, and I am committed to that.
Well, can I tell you one more thing before you go?
Absolutely, sir. I'm listening.
Jasmine, this is nephew Tommy from the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
No! Do you know how crazy my life is, and you over here playing on my phone? Like, seriously? Like, I got people coming left and right complaining about everything under the sun, and you over here playing on my phone? Like, I don't even want to know how and why. Like, I legitimately don't even know. I don't even want to know. Like, but this ain't the time.
I know. But listen, let me just say this. We are behind you. We love you 100%.
How come ain't no diversity on the Steve Harvey Morning Show? Where's the white folks at?
Especially here at the Steve Harvey Morning Show. But
where's all the white women at?
I had to call. I had to try.
This is not what I needed. But,
3 in here.
I
we got 3.
I'll love y'all one day.
Read about International 2 by Henry Ford. I'm not making money because the Jewish companies are harassing me. That's why I'm doing it. And that's why I want people to read about the International 2. Because if you start your own business in this city, Jews will harass you. Read about the International 2 by Henry Ford.
That is the scariest elbow I've ever seen in my life.
You're going to hear.
Oh my God. Did you hear what he said?
No, I didn't.
You really lost it.
Oh my God. Think about internet.
Welfare man, you're on your candid camera. You are. You got nothing better to do? You jealous? You jealous of the man? Is that it? Jealous loser. No, you're not. You're a communist, anti-American loser. You're jealous of success. That's what you are. Losers. Communist Marin County bums.
Who is that?
All of you losers. Go back to Brooklyn. Loser. You're on candid camera. Loser. 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 I don't talk to communists. Yes, you are. You're a loser. Why do you hate Musk? Why do you hate Musk? So what? You're a self-righteous moron. No, I won't be quiet. Who the hell do you think you are, you loser? Yes, I am. You're a nobody, a broken Hulk. Loser.
Michael Savage, that's him. That's who it sounded like. He's out there confronting him on the street. Michael Savage has got some balls. What kind of balls are they, Jamie? The Jewish balls.
Well, folks, it's bad for my heart condition. I can't stand these people. These are the reason America's dying, because of these self-righteous phonies, these left-wing bastards.
I know. But I gotta tell all you Trump supporters something, especially those of you that are coming into my comment section, in my videos, in my live, telling me, hey bro, trust the process.
Just like it breaks out of the Tesla takedown protests in Tampa, they've been planning them all over the country today. You can tell the ones that's deranged, they got a mask on.
Hang on with me. Watch out! Hey, everybody look at this guy! Hey, get right here! Pay attention! Go home!
Called him a Nazi.
Here we go, fisticuffs.
Yeah, because that lady attacked
hang on with me. Hang on with me. Watch out! Hey, everybody look at this guy!
Weird things caught on camera. What is that right there? That's a ghost.
Escucha la voz de la pequeña, según. No, pero
a ver, ven, acércate. Quiero verte, pequeña. Ven para acá, ven. Las piernas. Ven en este momento, te lo estoy ordenando. Ven tú, yo no voy a ir contigo, pequeña. No voy a ir. Tú no eres ninguna pequeña, tú lo que eres un demonio. Acércate en ese momento.
No tiene pies, no tiene pies.
Tiene. Te ordeno que vengas. Ven para acá tú, ven. Ven, acércate. Agárrame, aquí está mi mano. Me necesitas. Ven. Ven, acércate. Puedes hacerlo, ven para acá. Te lo estoy ordenando, pequeña, ven.
I don't understand what they're saying. They're speaking in Spanish.
¿Vamos o qué será?
Robbie.
Mira, algo le salió por atrás.
Stuart.
Algo le salió por atrás.
Hey, Stuart.
Mira, los ojos le brillan bien feos. Vamos, ahora ven por ella, ven por ella.
148 miles away. Nope.
Ah, caray.
Stuart.
Se no se lo trata. Relajado, joder. No me voy, no me voy, no me voy. No me voy, no me voy, sí, yo me
That's what we
voy.
need to do.
No, yo me voy, yo me voy.
4 batteries up on Peanut's truck. What are you doing?
The other year is at more big 6.
He can lead then. Yeah, he's good.
Tienes un demonio que está aquí.
Hey, you got 3 hours on that?
Te pido y te ordeno que
3
te vayas
hours
a
on
saludar.
that?
Acércate, pequeña, ven.
I didn't do 300 quotes. How about
Escucha
that?
la voz de la pequeña, según.
A ver, ven, acércate. Quiero verte, pequeña. Ven para acá, ven. Las piernas. Ven en este momento, te lo estoy ordenando. Ven tú, yo no voy a ir contigo, pequeña. No voy a ir. Tú no eres ninguna pequeña, tú lo que eres un demonio. Acércate en ese momento.
No tiene pies, no tiene pies.
Tiene. Te ordeno que vengas. Ven para acá tú, ven. Ven, acércate. Agárrame, aquí está mi mano. Me
Escucha la
necesitas.
voz,
Ven.
escucha la voz, escucha la
Ven.
voz.
Kennedy blackmail story is currently breaking in many directions all across the internet, and American politics is not going to be the same after this weekend. That's not hyperbole. This is not just a hook, and I don't really know where to start. But this is the kind of story that I've gotten enough calls from enough people tonight, and there's enough going on that I feel like we need to make a video right now to keep some people safe and to get as much as we all know out on the internet right now, so that everyone can be safe. And the best place for everyone to start is at Candace's video that she put up today, that she very aptly titled One Nation. Go watch it. She does a way better job of explaining a bunch of what's going on than I could. But as soon as I was like 10 minutes into it, and then I started getting phone calls from sources telling me more information that is corroborating and taking it even further than what is exposed in that video. And I have sources telling me that there are people in like media and around Bobby that know about this and know it's coming and are trying to protect him and save him from this. But it is past that, and there is no saving anyone from this, I think. And we just have to deal with what's about to happen. So I'm gonna leave all of that out, and we're gonna start the story here with our girl Jessica, House and Habit. She had tasked one of her writers, Emily Hagan, with writing a hit piece about Candace Owens. They were trying to create or dig up some dirt on Candace's husband for some reason to take her down. For reasons we'll kind of get to in a second. Emily submitted a draft kind of, and Jessica, House and Habit, was having her girl, I believe Olivia Nuzzi, read through it, and it was like, we can't publish that, it's too 4chan-y. House and Habit clarified that it needs to be a clean shot. A clean shot to take down Candace Owens. Good fucking luck with that. If you don't remember who Olivia Nuzzi is, she's the woman that had the sexting scandal with RFK last year, who then cozied up to House and Habit for reasons that are not entirely clear, and sort of started secretly editing there behind the scenes and kind of replacing people and getting really close to Jessica Reed Krause, House and Habit, for reasons that are still not entirely clear as far as I'm aware. To be fair, there's a lot that is not entirely clear because this is so complicated, and everything in this video is hearsay and rumors. And obviously when they tried to come to Candace and it created all this drama, and Candace don't take no fucking shit, and Jessica had been super mean to the writer of the article and that had then fired her. And so her and Emily had had all this drama, and then her other best friend, and it had gotten super fucking vitriolic, and eventually Emily was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna go to Candace and come clean and say what's going on. That's how we got this video. And I was only 15 minutes into this video when I started getting interrupted by all kinds of calls from all kinds of people all over the country that have more information about this. Because this story is way past the point of no return. And it is way bigger than some girl drama. So at the second Trump Butler rally in July of last year, House and Habit was hanging out with some of the people that I know and apparently receiving a bunch of phone calls all about this blackmail situation with the Olivia Nuzzi sexting scandal. And while she was taking calls, she was kind of filling them in excitedly on the story as she was getting it, kind of as though she was going to write a piece about it. And what they were told is that it was many instances of recorded video sexting stuff. They were told in some form that Olivia Nuzzi's husband was in on recording it, whether that is him tapping her phone or her and him as a husband-wife couple kind of targeting him. I mean, Olivia Nuzzi did insert herself into the RFK campaign, and then all this stuff happened. And then when I was at Rescue the Republic event just a few months later, I was hearing all kinds of rumors, and a lot of people were hearing rumors about dick pics that were apparently coming out that never came out. I suspect that that was a misunderstanding of this story, sort of being kind of rumored around. So what we got was a story that Olivia Nuzzi and him had a romantic, emotional connection over the phone that had caused her, it was inappropriate, and he apologized, and so she left the campaign sort of, and then went and got real cozy with House and Habit, who had a lot of details, who was rad. I don't know what happened there, but I know that what a very trusted person on my end told me that they heard at that event was that it was not just that, it was recordings of video sex. There's also a lot of swirling rumors of other people that he's been having sex with that are very heartbreaking and inappropriate. But I started to wonder, who might Olivia Nuzzi and possibly her husband, who, if they had had that, who might they have passed such blackmail to? Either sold it or been sent by some group. And you need look no further than her Wikipedia page. to learn that in 2013, just out of university, actually while still in university, she volunteered as an intern for Anthony Weiner's New York City mayoral campaign. If you don't know about Anthony Weiner, look it up. And that is a direct tie to Huma Abedin and to Hillary Clinton, and to, at that point, just pick your term for whatever deep state groups you want to talk about. That blackmail could be anywhere by now, but I think we all know who has it. And Candace certainly knows who has it.
That we're all doing at the moment is pretending that RFK Jr.'s unflinching loyalty and, quite frankly, his fear of saying anything negative about Israel. I pull up Dave Smith here.
The worst humanitarian catastrophe in the world
You can take
right
me out
now.
of this.
And the idea that you, who are supposed to be the anti-neocon, anti-war presidential candidate, are immediately, on October 7th, before we even had an investigation, before we even knew what happened there, you immediately say, what basically you said everything they say about Ukraine. You said it was an unprovoked attack. Which, like, come on, give me a break. An attack from Gaza against Israel is unprovoked. And then you said, we have to support them in whatever it takes. Well, look, sir, we're watching it right now. This is whatever it takes.
And just to clarify, there's a lot of other evidence that Israel and Israel-aligned people are involved in having this blackmail, but I don't want to get into details just yet because that would kind of compromise some of the journalists that are currently a little at risk. Right now, Bobby's own staff around him they know this, and they have been trying to find the handler that's close to him, because it must be very close in order to be managing his tweets and managing his appearances and everything he's doing. And it sounds like there's a lot of people that are trying to protect him from this coming out, but it is already coming out, and unfortunately it is out enough that journalists are in danger. And the point of this video is to let everyone know that the journalists are all in connection, and we are all talking, and we all know the story, and we have all shared it already, and we are all location sharing with each other, and we are looking out for each other. And so Emily Hagan is protected, and we are watching her, and we have her location shared, and she's already put her stuff out on the internet. But if anything were to happen to her, we are watching, and we will know who did it. There are other people too that have information about this stuff, that are in positions that are a little scary right now. And to everyone out there in the bad team, we are also in touch with them, and we are also watching them and location sharing with them. Do not touch anyone. Decentralized media is doing its thing, and I wish that we didn't have to do it this way. And I do not know all the details yet, and I don't know if every single little detail that I just said is correct, but I know that enough of it is going on, and I'm getting it from like 5 to 6 different sources, 7 different sources tonight, that this is coming out. And the next months are going to be completely insane. To everyone who's going to be watching this unfold, think very critically, take your time, don't trust anyone, don't trust me, just take your time and watch it come out, and don't rush to judgments. There is going to be media spin on media spin on media spin. There will be personal attacks, character assassinations. The entire playbook is about to come out. Jessica, the time to come clean is right now. You have an opportunity to tell the truth. And Bobby, I am sorry that this is how this has to happen, but your opportunity to tell the truth is coming right up. And to everyone that's going to say, I told you so, you're right. You did tell us so.
was never here.
Expanding, I am psychedelic, I am vibration, I am timeless, I am unity, I am activating, I am resonant, I am galactic, I am radiant, I am defined, I am electric, I am lunar, I am magnetic, I am planetary, I am balanced, I am organized, I am connected, I am inspired, I am in harmony, I am integrity, I am perfect, I am manifestation, I am dissolving, I am releasing, I am liberated, I am dedicated, I am universalized, enduring,
Robbie don't know nothing about that.
Did the Doge dudes, Greg, shatter the Democrat narrative?
I have to hand it to Brett Baer and Special Report. That's like the best thing I've ever seen on this network. It sounds like an exaggeration, but I was. Sorry, Jesse.
Seriously.
No, Watersworld was right upstairs. But if you want to learn how government works and why following the money tells you everything about incentives, self-preservation, fraud, and in this case, patriotism, because all of those guys are not doing it for the money. They're doing it for the country. I'm pretty politically aware. I didn't know about that mine in Pennsylvania until Doge. I had no idea. That's like, you're living in an apartment and you want to go check on the heating, so you go down to the basement and you find an old guy shoveling coal. It is nobody, like I'd say 90% of the population had no idea that existed, and now they do. Everybody's gone through the list: the Social Security, the computer systems, the Treasury, with no oversight on payouts. 1.5% of workers have been fired. You could round that to zero. I know it's like somebody, but you're talking a huge number. The money being cut from science is being redirected from administrations to actual science. There's so much stuff there. But I wonder why the attacks, also the arguments from the Dems, and then the violence from their minions. I don't think Democrats, I should say that. I don't think leftists are used to people operating from good faith. That a collection of wildly successful people would come together out of pure love for the country to save the country from financial ruin. So they project their own instincts onto everybody else. There must be some ill will that is driving Doge. It's got to be greed. These are billionaires. They could never fathom an altruistic endeavor. And this one is clearly the biggest one in recent history. Also, if you're constantly in drama mode, and I would say all of this is drama mode, acting instead of doing, then you have to believe there's something underlying this Doge performance, because if you're an actor, you act all day and you assume everybody else has a false front too. So they just assume that there must be something going on with Doge that is covering up a more devious thing. But if you look at the Doge segments, analytical, dry, plainly stated, there were no what ifs. There were just what is. And the last thing I'll say about the violence, because we haven't touched on that, when somebody does something that you don't like, oftentimes you don't like the person when you should just not like the thing that they did. And what the left does is it confuses the two. So I could support Doge. You could not like the fact that I support Doge, but you shouldn't hate me for that. What you're seeing is people going after the individuals for their beliefs. I don't like that Elon Musk is fronting Doge, so I don't like him. Generally, as human beings, you don't like the act. You don't go after the person. I believe a famous Christian once said that. I think it was hate this sin and not the sinner. Anyway, this.
Hey, it's Jamie with Chapman. Hey, who is it? Hello? Oh, I don't recognize your voice. Hey, you can let them know that truck number 52476. Yeah. We put a radiator in it this morning. He's on the road. Yeah, he's out there. He's hooking up to his trailer right now. All right. Thanks, sir. All right. Bye-bye. Want the hard truth? For 95.3% of us, we can hit 1,000,000 golf balls, play 1,000 rounds, take 1,000 lessons, swing as good as this 3-year-old. Play golf for pussies. I wonder if that dog's gonna bring the ball back. Let's really play fetch with your favorite friend. Trump leaves president to become even more powerful district court judge.
And she's worried about her family name. She's worried about her family.
Hillary basically pocketed $80 million, and that was supposed to go to families of Haiti.
Family name after this $84 million from U.S. aid that was supposed to go to the people in Haiti. All of this.
Are you staying with Europe or are you
Italy
staying
breaks rank with the EU. Melania backs U.S. alliance.
U.S. I'm staying with Italy, as always. I'm in Europe. I'm
Plus, she's hot.
for the West. What does it mean? The electoral campaign is finished. And the idea that the relation between you and your counterparts change based on who wins the election is something I will never follow. Our relations with the US are the most important relation that we have. The United States have always been our first ally. We respect them, and we want to enhance that cooperation. Are you staying with Europe or are you staying with the US? I'm staying with Italy, as always. I'm in Europe. I'm for the West. What does it mean? The electoral campaign is finished. And the idea that the relation between you and your counterparts change based on who wins the election is something I will never follow. Our relations with the US are the most important relation that we have. The United States have always been our first ally. We respect them, and we want to enhance that cooperation. Are you staying with Europe or are you staying with the US? I'm staying with Italy.
Second largest 6.4 aftershock hitting minutes later. That guy got thrown out of that crane yesterday. That was terrible. Look how high up they are, man. Nope. Robbie. What's up, driver?
Yeah, I need to paperwork something, the paperwork receipt anything.
You good?
Good?
Yeah, I just sent it over and I called them and told them that you was hooking to your trailer.
Okay.
So you good to go?
Okay.
All right, thank you, man.
What was the total price on that?
The total, like $3,000.
That's what I figured. Okay.
It's like 30. I think it was like $3,200.
Okay. All right.
All right.
I've been hearing this from the Israelis all the time, and it is a little mind-boggling for me because they say, hey man, everybody around us, all the 12 countries or so, they hate us and they all want to kill us. And I find that a little weird to hear from anybody, you know, like if your neighbor came up to you and said, hey man, all my 12 neighbors want to kill me, they all hate me. The first question any sane person would ask is, what the fuck did you do, bro? Right? What did you do to make all these people pissed off? I've been hearing this from the Israelis all the time, and it is a little mind-boggling for me because they say,
yeah, why is all your neighbors want to kill you? State Catholic to stop the Catholic during the temple. We seen that yesterday.
There is no more Federal Reserve note on the U.S. debt clock. It is now the U.S. Treasury dollar. QFS is in place. Let me show you. This is essentially the bill. This is on Congress.gov. I'm going to show you guys. This is HR 6227. Look it up. This bill directs the President to implement a National Quantum Initiative program. Amongst all things, establish the goals and priorities for a plan to accelerate the development of quantum information science and technology applications. Quantum information science and the use of laws. Quantum physics for storage, transmission, manipulation, or measurement of information. What does this all mean? Let me put it in layman's terms. Basically what it means is the monetary debt system is going to put an end to the financial slavery and control over the populace. The QFS is an advanced financial system launched to eradicate monopoly on a monetary system for that purpose. The system comprised of artificial intelligence and complex computer programs fully backed by banks as needed. Quantum financial system would be a breakthrough in the world of banking, which will lead to a new era of banking. QFS will not be influenced by government policies, rather be entirely backed by tangible assets like gold, platinum, silver, and will not be based upon mere piece of paper which has no evidentiary value. National Quantum Initiative Act. Here it is, right on Congress.gov, HR 6227, National Quantum Initiative Act. You guys go on QFS Live, you can read all these articles. These articles are really important. You can see, like, talking about the BRICS common currency, BRICS to create further payment mechanisms, precious metals as moving forward, etc. I don't tell you guys this to scare you, but the quantum financial system is in effect. It's already in effect. It's going through. The banks are shutting down. Silicon Valley Bank started it. Now the dominoes are going to fall. 187 banks are said to be wiped out. They don't have the assets. They don't have the gold. When you go and you put in your money in, they don't have the gold to back your money. So what they're doing is they're taking out loans from other bigger banks. And these bigger banks cannot loan them the money because they don't have the actual gold or the silver or the platinum. There's no monetary value that are backing cash. Cash is going to be gone. Cash is not king anymore, guys. It's going to be digital assets. And to be exact, these are some of those digital assets. You have XRP Ripple, XLM Stellar, Zenfin, you have IOTA, you have Algorand, you have gold, you have silver. I say this so you guys are prepared. Quantum financial system is in effect. The Sarah Jacera. Go on QFS.live, go on Congress.org. Trust me, this is in effect. You're not going to be able to get your money out of the banks. Silicon Valley started it. That bank fell. It started the domino effect. Dominoes are following. All the other banks are going to follow. Get ready for the digital dollar.
All my reprint from Fort Knox.
Obama want to overthrow Assad because Israel has run American foreign policy in the Middle East for 30 years. That's how it works. We have an Israel lobby. We have this clean break strategy. We have a plan for 7 wars in 5 years. And what's interesting is they actually kind of carry out this madness. They don't explain any of it to the American people. They don't tell anybody, but you can watch step by step. We've had 6 of those 7 wars. The only one that hasn't happened is Iran. And if you watch every day now, the MSM, the mainstream media, is pushing for U.S. war with Iran. Netanyahu's pushing for war with Iran. They're really trying to get this started to make 7 out of 7.
But let me make one other point, Judge. I want to make a general suggestion to Mr. Musk and the President. Number one, I think part of the problem is that Mr. Musk has not talked enough, other than on Twitter, and his team have not talked enough about what they've been doing and why they're doing it. They need to hold a press conference every 2 weeks for the press and the American people to say, this is what we've done, this is what we found, this is how we did it. Number two, I begged the President last week, and I'm going to keep begging. When Mr. Musk gets rid of waste, he's sued, and the judges enjoin it. The only way for us to get rid of this spending porn permanently is for the President to send us over what's called a rescission bill.
Right.
Pick 10 or 20 of the worst evidences or the worst items of waste and say, Congress, I want you to get rid of it. And let us get rid of it and make the Democrats vote on it.
Well, you know, it sounds like a great idea, and
Right here is my favorite thing ever. In the history of forever. I think about this every day. I think about this all night long. I stay awake, not sleeping, because I'm thinking about this. This right here is my favorite thing ever.
To a point of exhaustion, which was misdiagnosed by a, I'm not going to say what race, what people, doctor, and what hospital, and what media it went to. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor. To a point of exhaustion.
I can't say,
which was
but it was a Jew.
The Belgian Malinois. This dog wakes up every morning like it's got a fucking 12-hour shift at MI5. If it's not doing advanced parkour off your furniture, it's digging a tunnel to shitting Narnia in your garden. The Belgian Malinois is like if someone crossed a crackhead with a Navy SEAL and then injected it with a litre of pure caffeine. If you own one of these, you either need to be a police officer, a military operative, or just completely off your fucking rocker. Because this isn't a dog. It's a furry missile that will destroy your house, your sanity, and any sense of peace you once had. They don't walk. They fucking launch. You clip a lead on a Malinois and suddenly you're paragliding through the high street at 30 miles an hour. Yeah, they're smart, but not in a cute, fun way. They're smart in a figure out how to open doors and steal your wallet and commit tax fraud kind of way. You leave the house for 5 minutes, and they've already learned how to drive your car. You think you own a Malinois? No, your Malinois owns you. Training? Don't even bother unless you've got the patience of a monk and the fitness of an Olympic athlete. These dogs will make you feel like you've enlisted in the fucking military just by trying to teach them sit. Miss one training session and suddenly your dog is swinging from the ceiling fan plotting world domination. The Belgian Malinois doesn't want to be your pet. It wants to be your commanding officer. Now go away.
It's a badass dog.
Sure, go ahead. What you got? We're doing a survey and we're asking people, what would you do if somebody broke into your house with the intentions to rob and harm your family?
Oh, I'd call 811.
811? You mean 911?
No, 811, because I'm going to need to know where to dig a hole.
You mind if we ask you a quick question?
Sure, go ahead. What you got?
We're doing a...
Keep asking me about where's my 6 kids' daddy at. Let me let y'all know.
6 kids and
he's in prison.
5 different baby daddies. Okay, where are they?
My first baby daddy, which was my first love, and he has transitioned from Tony to Tracy.
Uh-oh, you done turned one.
You can't make this up.
And he is now living in Atlanta, Georgia, dressed fully as
he's
a
here in
female.
Atlanta.
And he does not want to have anything to do with his child.
Okay, baby daddy number 1, Atlanta, Georgia, Tracy, doesn't want anything to do with the kid. The second one?
My second baby daddy was kicked in the chest by a horse. It gave him an instant heart attack and he died.
It's like we had no warm-up to what was going to be of the stories. Baby daddy number 2, unalived by a horse. Okay, number 3?
My third...
Was it a black horse? That's what I would have asked. That'd have been my follow-up question. Black on black crime?
Baby daddy just a deadbeat. I didn't know that he was married.
You knowed all that bullshit when you lay down and spread your legs. Stop lying, you whore! Whore!
And when I told him I was pregnant, he confessed to her.
Danielle, what's going on, girl?
And she's going after his wife to pay child support because baby daddy number 3 has no job, but they're married, so you know how that goes.
That's right, 50-50.
Baby daddy number 4?
My fourth baby daddy decided he wanted to fucking be a pirate.
A pirate?
Again, you can't make this up.
And go rob the boat freights and shit like that. So he is now serving 20 years.
So pirate baby daddy
prison
number 4 behind bars for 20 years. The last one?
And my last 2 kids have the same father. And he is 72 years old, living in a nursing home with dementia.
72?
Yo, be so for real.
That thing still got hard. It still got hard.
So everybody keep asking me about where's my 6 kids' daddy at.
Family show, Jamie. Family
6 kids
show.
and 5 different...
Yes, hi. This is Dan calling from the IRS.
Where?
Former U.S. Border Deputy Patrol Agent J.J. Carrell says he's been given a tip to look for the missing children in the underground tunnels of America.
Where are the 500,000 to 1 million unaccompanied alien children? Where in the...
No, not you, Daniel. I wasn't calling you a whore. I was talking about that lady that's got 5 kids. Or 6 kids by 5 different daddies.
The hell are these kids? In one place, I have been told that we need to start looking, and it made perfect sense when I didn't even think of it. A lot of people are saying, you need to start looking underground. I'm like, what do you mean underground? Well, JJ, there's whole tunnels, underground tunnels, There's underground spaces, living places. Where do you hide children? You have to hide them out of sight. Where are...
Subcommittee, Catherine Maher, the CEO of NPR, took a different approach.
Do you believe that America is addicted to white supremacy?
I believe that I tweeted that, and as I've said earlier, I believe much of my thinking has evolved over the
Stop closing your eyes when you talk to us, lady.
last half decade.
Do you believe that America believes in black plunder and white democracy?
No, I never said that. I don't remember saying that. It wasn't me saying that. Well, I got your tweet right here, bitch.
I don't believe that, sir.
You tweeted that in reference to a book you were reading at the time, apparently, The Case for Reparations.
I don't think I've ever read that book, sir.
You tweeted about it.
So you
said you took a day off to fully read The Case for Reparations. You put that on Twitter in January of 2020.
Apologies, I don't recall that I did.
Do you believe that white people inherently feel superior to other races?
I do not.
You don't. You tweeted something.
Don't you be crying, girl.
You said,
don't you be
I
crying.
Feeling superior. How white of me. Why did you tweet that?
I think I was probably reflecting on what it was to grow up in an environment where I had lots of advantages.
Do you think that white people should
Overtime.
pay reparations?
Don't pay no taxes on it.
I have never said that, sir.
Yes, you did. You said it in January of 2020. You tweeted, "Yes, the North. Yes, all of us. Yes, America. Yes, our original collective sin and unpaid debt. Yes, reparations. Yes, on this day."
I don't believe that was a reference to fiscal reparations, sir.
What kind of reparations was it a reference to?
I think it was just a reference to the idea that we all owe much to the people who came before us.
We don't owe shit to them bitches.
That's a bizarre way to frame what you tweeted.
First of all, Brandon Gill is a future superstar, like 28 years old. But this testimony was simply jaw-dropping. The woman claims she took time off from work to read a pro-reparations book.
What you doing, Jamie?
Now conveniently says
shaking my
she can't
frozen
remember ever reading?
Gatorade into my
Definitely
glass.
want to put her in charge of an important agency. But in her defense, she seems to have trouble with the truth.
I want to have like a Gatorade slushy
of
maker.
what truth is.
The idea of the truth is it's complicated. It's evolutionary. It's unstable. Truth, by definition, is malleable. It changes and is changing.
No, the truth don't change, bitch. Jamie, we can't hear. Can't hear nothing, Jamie. Except you in there, Blue.
I'd forgotten about our little island, did you? Oh, no name unless you know it. None of the apps like it. You can't even find it or Prince Edward Island. Need to Marion Island and like Bouvet. Poof, from 2017 to 2022. On this app, there's a weather marker, so you can see what the temperature is by Bouvet Island. Oh, what's this marker? Remove me, version 3. Dev test spot. Another dev test spot. Remove me 22. I hope they're not doing testing by our island. By the way, this report from the US Army Research Center is investigating gravity anomalies by Marion Island and Bouvet Island. I'm sure I'm not the only one missing the blob. I guess it was just a glitch. Oh, by the way, venomous snakes have been washing up on the shores of South Africa. Apparently most uncommon. They say strong sea currents are pushing them into colder waters. Even 500 turtle hatchlings also washed up. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. See you in the comments. Take care.
A bunch of people to take an experimental drug, and a bunch of people did, and then it didn't work, and so the government said, well, you need to do it again. They did it again, and then the government said, you know what, it's not working because other people aren't joining the experiment, and so take it a third time. And they took it a fucking third time, and then they started getting mad at the people who didn't fall for that fucking shit. Hey, you remember that? Hey, you remember that one time that the government, like, told a bunch of people to take an experimental drug? And a bunch of people did, and then it didn't work.
Partial eclipse today. It's cloudy up here today. Pimply white ass. Does it got tan lines on it?
Conspiracy.
Cause I like to go right around the tan line and do little kisses, and then I do them with my eyelashes, like that, and it tickles. Put goosebumps on your butthole. Put goosebumps on your butthole.
Says Wikipedia, which is also a deep state operation, but this is alleged. But then here's a video to follow it up.
It's exactly like acting. There's a script, and that's the truth.
And that is the truth.
And
that is the truth.
And that's the truth. There's action involved. That's what you just saw.
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 There's editing involved that has all the same exact clips.
Elon Musk to literally take a chainsaw.
Elon Musk take a literal chainsaw.
Literally take a chainsaw.
Elon Musk take a chainsaw.
His buddy Elon Musk.
Elon Musk take
The chainsaw.
It's exactly what actors do. They get a script, they read it in front of a camera on cue, they do the actions. I mean, that's how these people are not considered actors and yet politicians is really hilarious at this point. But it speaks to something else that has happened to people's minds. Because this shouldn't be working on anyone, I guess, is what I'm thinking, right? Like, this should not be garnering support from anybody to see this. It should be horrifying that they're all just repeating each other mindlessly like drones in some hive mind. Why would we need senators getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to just repeat the same talking points as each other?
Because Israel's got their hands up their ass.
You don't get a puppy that's
Girls only want to adopt this puppy.
adorable. You lost your chance of getting a puppy that was so cute.
We lost our chance?
What if she's gone by now?
We just came to look.
He's too cute.
There will be other puppies. We'll go home and tomorrow you won't even remember him.
Yes, I will.
I will.
I will.
You will, Jasmine?
I will remember that day.
I'll remember him till I die.
We know that we want to get them.
What was so special about this puppy?
He was a baby. He was 2 months old and he was so adorable. in the world that we've ever looked at do that.
Jasmine, what was so special about him? And then we'll know what to look for our next time.
It's too late.
Jazz, look at me.
And you should be the same puppy, the same personality, and the same cuteness. How can you not get a puppy that's adorable?
Yeah, Mom.
I'm sorry, girls.
Dad got the puppy for him.
Daddy. Welcome to the family.
Dad's a hero.
I knew that. I knew it.
You knew he was gonna get it.
She's just happy. Crying. Them are happy tears.
Are you guys gonna take good care of him?
Yes.
Let's see this little cutie.
Oh. Oh. Every kid needs a puppy.
This middle back, you gotta. That's right.
Oh.
Every kid needs a puppy. With the mange.
And other.
He's going into Hollow Greenland Enigma. That's out there in Greenland. Got the tunnels.
Earth might not be found in the heavens, but deep within our own planet.
One of the most consistent themes that we find in ancient cultures when we travel around the world is the idea that there is another world, another
There's
Earth
hobbits
inside
down there.
of the planet. Within Buddhism, there's stories of a place called Agartha or Agarthi, which is an inner world, and it's inhabited too by people, and that they are an advanced race, and even that they have trains and vehicles that are moving through this inner Earth.
Is it possible that an other Earth can be located within the confines of our own planet? Historically, underground realms were not relegated to mere mythology. Well-respected scientists and mathematicians have long speculated about a theory that became known as Hollow Earth.
The scientist Edmund Halley is most famous for Halley's Comet. He was also very interested in the Earth, and one of the challenges was trying to figure out what was the real structure of the inside of the Earth. He had a fascinating theory of not just a hollow Earth, but an Earth with multiple layers.
75 years later, 18th century mathematician Leonhard Euler put forth his own hollow Earth theory with no concentric shells and a sun at the center, spanning 600 miles.
Euler was a gifted mathematician. He developed this idea that the planet Earth is not only hollow, but the poles are actually thinned. And there are actually entrances into the inner core at the north and south poles of the Earth. He imagined that there were advanced civilizations living inside the planet.
Number 2. Ideas of an occupied hollow Earth would be revisited nearly 2 centuries later in 1947, when famous polar explorer Admiral Richard Byrd flew reconnaissance missions over the North Pole. Byrd allegedly reported in his private journal about a mysterious land beyond the North Pole, which he called the center of the great unknown.
Admiral Richard Byrd was able to fly to the North Pole and back and recorded flying over lush green areas where none should have been. And then 3 years later, he flew over the South Pole.
It's rumored that when Admiral Byrd's task force actually got to Antarctica, that one of the first things they discovered was an entrance into a hollow Earth civilization that was populated by very, very advanced beings.
Admiral Byrd made a lot of unusual statements, including talking about what he called a new kind of craft that could fly from pole to pole. And when Byrd got back to the United States, he was brought back to Washington, where he was questioned very heavily about his statements. And allegedly he was told to stop talking about this.
Is it possible that entrances to another world can be found at the Earth's poles? And if so, did Admiral Byrd actually pass through one of them? According to some ancient astronaut theorists, such gateways do exist. If we were to discover...
She's out there making that money. She's trying to get enough up to buy her own remote control because her husband done told her.
The other
Earth. You put her in the hospital not too long ago.
The place we have sought, the missing world, it would be profoundly...
I tried to tell her. I warned her about that shit. I said, you're going to get your ass whooped.
News just came across my desk.
Merger of XAI
making my first
and
post
X
about it
big
right here to
news
answer
for Bible
a couple questions, I'm sure, from you guys. Doge, designer, and Elon have said that X and XAI are merging. It was a stock deal, and now XAI owns X. So the companies are combined. And this is actually in Scripture, and it's a huge piece of prophecy. So I want to take us over to Daniel 8 and show you what's happening right here. Daniel 8, verse 9 through 12, I'm going to read to you guys. It says, out of one of them came another horn, which started small but grew in power to the south and to the east and towards the beautiful land. That right there is X being formed out of Twitter and growing in power and influence. It says it grew until it reached the host of the heavens, and it threw some of the starry host down to the earth and trampled on them. It's destroying other media. If you guys are on X for any length of time like I am every day, you'll see posts by Elon, Doge, SMX, all these other propaganda accounts that show you how X is destroying all the other media. That's biblical.
That blue guy rate's pretty good.
Verse 11 says it set itself up to be as great as the commander of the army of the Lord and took away the daily sacrifice from the Lord. His sanctuary was thrown down. Because of the rebellion, the Lord's people and the daily sacrifice were given over to it. It prospered in everything it did, and truth was thrown to the ground. So this is basically saying that at some point in time, the daily sacrifice and the sanctuary will be thrown down, which is the temple, and that's you taking the mark in your body, the abomination of desolation. The temple's being thrown to the ground. That's what that's talking about prophetically. And X, in and of itself, could have never done that. X is only a media app. It can throw truth to the ground, and it can cause deceit to prosper, but it can never do anything other than that until now, when it combines with the digital god, as Elon describes it, in XAI. Now all we need to do is understand that Neuralink is going to merge with this entire system and become the way that you log in. It's going to be a biometric access token that you're going to use to log into this new huge bank that Elon's going to deliver on this platform. He's said in videos in the past that he's going to create the largest financial system in the world.
You know, David, Elon, he gave his employees at X, that is formerly Twitter, 1 year to create a system on X that replaces the banks. The quote is, when I say payments, I actually mean someone's entire financial life. So it's not like send $20 to my friend. I'm talking about you won't even need a bank account.
There's a product plan I wrote, which I wish I'd kept a copy of in July of 2000, where I thought it would be possible to make the most valuable financial institution in the world. And we're going to execute that plan from 22 years ago, which amazingly no one has done. That's part of why I think Twitter will be ultimately extremely valuable, because I'm going to execute the X.com game plan from 22 years ago.
And that's what we're seeing shape up right now. So this was an absolutely huge move today in Bible prophecy, and I hope that you guys will share this with people. It's 100% certain that this is coming. So letting people know that maybe are non-believers and think the Bible is a fairy tale could change their life, because when they see this happen, they can see Bible prophecy actually coming true. So I hope this reaches the right people and that it makes a difference. God bless you guys.
If you're me, after Trump, America is finished. It's not about Trump. I don't know the man, and I'm getting no benefits out of this anyway. Believe you me, I've never seen him. I've seen him on YouTube, whatever, here and there, bits and pieces, but I don't know him. But I'm telling you, Trump is the last one, because after the trumpet will be blown. You know why America is going to fall? Which is the United Nations, yeah? 2 reasons. Because America is challenging God at the moment. It's challenging the Lord. It's going to fall for 2 reasons. One, internally. The other reason is externally. The internal reason, there will be traitors within America.
We're going to check in there.
There are traitors within the White House, there are traitors within the Pentagon, there are traitors within the governmental system, traitors who have sold America. And the reason why these traitors came up on surface, because America walked away from the Lord. The Lord allowed them to be punished, to teach them that I'm in charge, not you. You think you can rule the world? It is the Lord who rules the world, not you. So when you challenge me, I will allow infiltrators from within your circle to come and...
Hey, is Autumn in there? Can I holler at her for a minute? This is Jamie with Chapman's. Can't make this stuff up.
The White House is being ran in one of the most ragged...
Do what? Oh, the radiator's gone. Well, we're working on the wheel seal ones. And I got somebody going to do the battery, jump off and check the batteries. I was just calling to see if she got that invoice on the radiator one. Yeah, and she called me earlier and gave me two numbers on 2 checks, because she said the email was kicking her out. Yeah, that's why I just... Yeah, just tell her to call me when she gets a number on it. All right, thank you. All right, bye-bye.
raggedy forms of government that I've ever seen. If anybody is questioning whether or not what our country would look like had the Confederacy won, there should be no question now. They want us to be afraid. Do not be afraid, Chicago. Whether it's an invitation or a subpoena, I'm always going to stand up for the interests of working people, and I will not be intimidated by some weak individual who won't stand up to an individual who believes he's a supreme being right now. You're worried about Chicago? Look in your front yard. We have a president right now who is obfuscating his responsibilities that should be very clear based upon the Constitution. And if they want to have a real discussion about undocumented individuals who are criminals, they should look at the very individuals who enslaved my people and colonized this land.
Here we go with that racist bullshit.
Gentlemen, this is it. The story.
Overexposed and then hiding a plan to eliminate most of the humanity with 5G towers.
Hollywood's elite prayed you'd never hear. For decades.
Yale School of Medicine host Dr. DEI from Columbia calls for violence against white people and about putting a gun to white people's heads and pulling the trigger. Oh, yeah, that sounds. Is she Jewish?
I had fantasies of unloading a revolver into the head of any white person that got in my way, burying their body, and wiping my bloody hands as I walked away relatively guiltless. With a bouncing like that, like I did the world a fucking favor. This is the cost of talking to white people at all. The cost of your own life as they suck you dry. There are no good apples out there. White people make my blood boil. Psychological predicament, because white people feel that we are bullying them when we bring up race. They feel
You just said to kill white people.
them for all that they have done for us. They are confused, and so are we. Can you hear me okay? Yes? Okay. We keep forgetting that directly talking about race is a waste of our breath. We are asking a demented, violent predator who thinks that they're a saint or a superhero to accept responsibility. It ain't gonna happen. They have 5 holes in their brain. It's like banging your head against a brick wall, just like sort of not a good idea. We need to remember that directly talking about race to white people is useless because we're at the wrong level of conversation. Addressing racism assumes that white people can see and process what we are talking about. They can't. That's why they sound demented. They don't even know they have a mask on. White people think it's their actual face. We need to get to know the mask.
Academia, education, media, and the capitalist system.
This dog breed the Belgian Malinois. This.
Oh, hell. He's over there breakdancing. He's in there breakdancing while they fight.
Court just said that the state of Israel is exempt from international law, meaning they don't have to allow any aid to Palestinians in the Strip. Palestinians, they are starving to death. This is disgusting.
Fuck Israel.
Elena Deladon, what is it like to be in company like that
I'm
with
gonna
the
let you listen
performance
to
you're
this
having
6'7" female basketball player from UCLA's response to a question, and I'll read your
in the
response.
tournament?
Listen, the fact that I'm even in a conversation with those two is insane. I look up to both of them so much, so that's unbelievable. I'm just very grateful.
Brittany Griner and Elena Deladon, what is it like to be in company like that with the performance you're having in the tournament?
Listen,
That bitch is huge. I got a car.
She was leaning on a rail in a cotton dress, summer tan, pretty little perfect mess, with a score that could only be anybody's guess. And I was thinking that I probably didn't stand a chance, so I rolled up my sleeves, walked up and I said, hey, no, I don't know you, but I'm kinda like a shot.
Kind of like a shot there, girl.
She said, I saw you coming over, I already thought it over and okay. So now what? I said,
That ain't gonna make it.
In theaters just so I could make fun of it. And wow, it did not disappoint. We can start with the dwarves. The dwarves looked like World of Warcraft characters, and we had to use CGI thanks to Peter Dinklage, who bullied Disney into DEI hiring CGI over actual little people. The movie was so boring I turned into Drowsy. Is that a dwarf name? Drowsy?
No,
Or is it
Sleepy was.
I turned into Sleepy about 15 minutes in. Then I turned into Grumpy. The prince is not a prince, but a bandit. And you know the message that Disney wanted to drive home? He still got the girl despite his socioeconomic status. From rags to bitches. You know what we gotta talk about. Gal Gadot is so bad. We don't bully Gal Gadot enough. Any Gal Gadot movie I've ever seen, she's the lowlight.
And enough champagne to fill the Nile.
She can't act. She can't sing. How does she keep getting work? Does Gal Gadot have the only remaining copy of the Epstein list? She got blackmail on every studio head. Gal Gadot. Gal goddamn, she is terrible. Gal Gadot, don't go see this piece of shit movie. This is worse than any war crime the IDF has ever committed.
The winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere, people will wait in line to see.
Dude, are actors the fucking worst or what, man? Actors can't stop acting. I mean, what a fucking monologue. Shut the f up! Disney!
That was Elon Musk on X's AI acquisition of X.
Harassed today because I was going under the speed limit. I was going at 38.
Yes, you are, ma'am. Good morning.
And the speed limit is 40, and I was going 38, so why are you harassing me?
You are correct. I pulled you over because
you're a murderer.
Because
yes, I started to record because
you can't
you're a murderer.
You can't be on your cell phone while you're driving.
I wasn't on my phone. I was recording you because you scared me.
You can't use your cell phone while you're recording.
I can record you.
May I have your driver's license?
It's at my apartment.
What's your apartment?
It's at my home. I'm just taking my son to his.
Do you have your driver's license?
I mistakenly left it at home.
Do you have a picture of your driver's license?
Yes, I do.
May I have it?
And can you call your supervisor, please?
I already did. He's on his way.
Good, because you're a murderer.
I know you're gonna be trouble.
And you're just mad because.
Hey, get me 81 Sam. On co-op.
This black bitch done lost her mind.
And so you're giving me a cell phone ticket? Is that why you're harassing me?
Not harassment. I am enforcing the law.
I have a right to record the police when they're harassing me.
By all means, but you can't do it while you're driving.
I wasn't texting or none of that.
Do you have that picture?
You scared me and made me think you were going to murder me.
Okay, well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Well, that's not just a feeling. You're a murderer.
Okay.
I'm a murderer. I reckon she's basing that because some cops kill black people. If she wants to use that kind of theory, we can say she's a.
Can you zoom in on that for me?
Sure.
Creating
and I'm perfectly
crimes against the black community.
And I'm a teacher, so there.
Congratulations.
Oh, she's a teacher.
You're a murderer.
That's what's wrong with our kids.
That? Hold that still for me.
Dumb ass like that teaching. Oh hell.
Is that a person?
That's a person. That's a person. That's a person.
Don't drown the baby.
Hey, what up? 还别闹啊！哎呦我操你妈！
No. You're gonna get that garbage out of here.
Gosh, 27,000 articles are going to be written. You're all frauds. You are all frauds. And you're going to get exposed. I'm telling you, one by one, you're going to get exposed because you're pissing me off now, okay? I spent all of 2024 having to fight you guys. You're like disgusting little goblins. You operate all in the dark. You lie. It's you lie like some people breathe. Genuinely, these people lie like I breathe. It's just natural. It's just like their lungs expand and a lie comes out. And there's a network of that, and Meghan McCain and Ben Dominic have been a part of that network forever. Okay, everyone knows who these neocons are. Who want to keep Americans drummed up, go to war. These people who can't fight the wars, they cry when someone points out accurately that they're clinically obese. They can't fight the wars, but your sons and daughters better fight the wars, guys. God forbid you have a person on a platform telling you, no, this is stupid. We don't need to be involved in Bibi Netanyahu's Middle East BS and expansion policies. Okay, they don't have the people, so they want you to be the people that go die for it and are trying to marry you to those ideas in the classroom, on podcasts, via the media, and because their relationship and your trust in the media has been fractured, they now have to work on trying to fracture your trust in people like me and Tucker Carlson. This is the new vibe. He sounds like an Iranian propagandist when he says don't die in Iran. When he says that obviously no person should send their kids to die in the Middle East because this has been our policy, our flatline policy for the last decades, and nothing good has come of it. Literally nothing good has come of it. They can't even pretend anything good has come of it. Look around, look at your streets. Look at your country. Is your country cleaner? Is your country better for having fought Israel's wars for decades?
Nope.
Oh, that's anti-Semitic. I know, RFK Jr. I know, RFK Jr. I hope they don't expose anything about you. All the rumors Lydia Nuzzi is circulating about you. But don't worry, she tells people that she wants to protect you. She does actually really like you, and she loves you. She has a soft spot for you. Does. It's a fact. You all sicken me. I just want to say it again. You all sicken me. I'm done with the hit pieces. I'm done with you.
She's mad.
Things that I suppose that I worry about, but and some of these things will seem esoteric to people. You know, the birth rate is very low in almost every country, and something, unless that changes, civilization will disappear. America had the lowest birth rate, I believe, ever. That was last year. Places like Korea, the birth rate is 1/3 replacement rate. So that means in 3 generations, Korea will be 3 or 4% of its current size. And nothing seems to be turning that around. Humanity is dying.
Yeah, because they're spraying us with fucking chemicals, putting shit in our food, making y'all take the jab.
And people, it's just not something we evolved to.
What are you doing to rectify this, Jamie? I'm impregnating any woman I get with. That's what I'm doing. Child support across the country, sea to shining sea.
React to.
And I got that unvaccinated sperm, like gold.
And I worry generally about the strength of America.
History is a lie. You need to look no further than found in the Salt Lake City.
There's 147 pioneers just rolled on into Salt Lake City, and in 20 years just started knocking out these buildings. In like 2-3 years, maybe. Let's look at a building being deconstructed, okay, by hand, brick by brick, by people, using horse and buggy. This was not the same civilization that built those other buildings, period. And they expect us to believe they were putting up these buildings in like 3 years with this technology, with horses and buggies. This is a lie. This is supposed to be a construction photo. This is not new construction. It's all a lie. These buildings were here. Our civilization was reset, and the truth is being hid from us so that we can be controlled. Are you ready to believe that you've been lied to?
Playlist, which includes some
Stores playing classical music, keep blacks away.
Bach and Rossini's William Tell Overture is played over and over to deter loitering.
I don't know how that does that. I mean, I think it's an interesting idea. I'd like to understand what the science is behind it.
Because they're on it, they don't have no class.
Somebody's figured this out.
According to Deerfield,
If it ain't out there shaking your ass, twerking.
It's Walgreens. There is no hard data behind it, but it may be working. During midday, 2 locations with the music did not have anyone loitering, while another Walgreens without the music had people hanging out. In a written statement, the corporation says for more than a year, it has implemented a loop of classical music at certain locations nationwide, including Chicago. And Walgreens is not alone. opera is the genre of choice for 7-Eleven stores. A few in Chicago also play music to deter loitering. The Chicago Coalition for the Homeless blasts the tactic used by both companies.
It's essentially treating them as less than human.
People like that, you need to grab a hold of them and get them up out of the country.
And treating
liberal, blowhard, tree-hugging bitch.
That's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Not the Cheerios.
15-month-old daughter just tested positive for lead present in her blood. The anger.
The Food and Drug Administration needs to be tore apart.
Everything in my house. We're talking 90 swabs. I swabbed everything. You know what popped positive?
Cheerios.
I tested 20 of these motherfuckers. Every single one turned pink. When lead is mixed with sodium rhodizonate, it turns pink. Funny, like the inside of these Cheerios, the Cheerios that my child has been eating since she started eating solids.
I used to love Cheerios.
The only
put too much sugar in there.
Have one gate.
When we're older.
Once you go around the deck there, you'll see the gate. If you don't see the gate, just keep driving to heaven.
He's gonna get on the back.
Driving to hell, you mean? Hell, anywhere, just drive. I can't even find my fucking horn. Okay. Whoa! Today you almost lost me. Slow. Slow. Go ahead. Fuck. Hey, God almighty, it ain't that hard. What are you doing now? You're doing good. Just keep on going, kind of slow, just like that.
Where's that black?
Toward the head, the shed.
Ah!
To the shed, you dumbass! Just turn it. Go.
I'd be scared to let her drive.
It's like watching paint dry. Go. Turn. Go.
What happened now?
That's what makes the fucking blade go around, this little fucking handle. And the part busted underneath. Boy, I'll tell you.
Ain't one thing, it's another.
If I had fucking shit for brains, I'd have something.
You sound angry. Got Dixie on my mind. Break 3 days after Zelensky predicted Putin's imminent death, the Russian president's limousine exploded in front of the FSB headquarters.
Discovery yesterday at a Texas gas station women's restroom has all of us wondering what is actually going on.
Yesterday, a woman stopped to use the restroom at an Exxon gas station near Texas A&M campus and found this locking device that locks with 2 large metal bars at the woman's restroom door. However, this locking mechanism is not on the inside of the door to keep people safe on the inside. This locking mechanism is on the outside of the women's bathroom door. On further investigation, it's not on the men's restroom. It is only on the women's restroom door. So if you lock this device, anyone inside of the bathroom is effectively trapped. And the woman who filmed this made sure to walk to the men's restroom to prove it was not on the outside of the men's bathroom door. She even closed the women's bathroom door and then locked it to see if it would actually lock, if it was a functioning lock, and it did. And you can see that this looks like an industrial grade locking mechanism. If you know any college student near or around this area in Texas, please share this to warn them. And all of us need to be on the lookout when going to public restrooms that could potentially lock us inside without us knowing. People in the comments were kind enough to share the exact location of this Exxon near this college campus.
And you're going to get exposed. I'm telling you, one by one, you're going to get exposed because you're pissed.
Vladimir Putin expected.
I don't buy it for a second, Ed, I'll be honest with you. I really think that there's so much misinformation. We've never really seen anything like it. The Russian military isn't perfect, but Russia is not struggling. It's hard to believe anything that our leaders tell us because they've lied about COVID, they lied about Russia collusion, they lied about the Ukraine impeachment trial. You see dishonesty when it comes to the Azov Battalion. The Azov Battalion has been murdering its way through eastern Ukraine. Well, I mean, you can find pictures of them online holding up the NATO flag and the swastika. And at the same time, this is why Crimea wanted to be with Russia. Because Western Ukraine backed the Nazis. The CIA actually gave immunity from prosecution to the Nazis of Ukraine from the Nuremberg trials. These are the actual Nazis from the Second World War. When you know that the CIA sponsored the color revolution in Ukraine in 2013 and 14, this is as much interference here as you could possibly imagine. Before you even get to Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, John Kerry, and Mitt Romney, and all of their children who are employed, who earn millions from Ukrainian gas companies. Zelensky was selected, like so many of our leaders, with big tech and with election fraud these days. We don't know how many leaders all around the world have been selected for us. Putin has been warning for 15 years that he is not going to stand by while the globalists take over the world, build bioweapons facilities. Ukraine has been a center of money laundering for many of the leaders in this country.
Facts. All right there, fellas. It's 5:30. I'm finna head to the house. I wasn't even supposed to be up here today. We appreciate y'all stopping by and hanging out with us for a little bit. Thanks for click the thumbs up if you went over to the YouTube side. We will holler at y'all. We'll go holler at them, Jamie. Later.
Saint Nick with the wrench in hand, fixing up his big old ride. Semi-truck, not sleigh this year, needs to make it home by night. Carols playing on the radio, snowflakes fall within the light. Santa breathing heavy sighs, knows he's got to make it right. Kel says working on the double, creased and sweat mixed in his beer. Hopes to beat the midnight hour, home with family so revered. Reindeer resting in the barn, elves off duty for the day. Santa's got the tools in hand, wants to make it home to play. Christmas lights upon the dash, guiding him through frosty roads. Truck is rolling down the way as he's counting every load. Hell, Santa's working on the double, grease and sweat mixed in his beard. Hopes to beat the midnight hours, home with family so revered. When the light is bleeding out through the darkness of the night, there are questions I will find. There are all these questions fixing up his big old ride. Semi-truck, not slave is here. Needs to make it home by night. Carols playing on the radio. Hopes to beat the midnight hour, home with family so revered. Reindeer resting in the barn, elves off duty for the day. Santa's got the tools in hand, wants to make it home to play. Christmas lights upon the dash, guiding him through frosty roads. Truck is roaring down the way as he's counting every load. Carol Santa's working on the double.
All the shelters. But like our company, this is why we try to help people by, providing them with refunds,
This is Savannah Hernandez in front of the Roosevelt Hotel in New York City. Now, we wanted to come check in on the migrant crisis, and as we were walking around, we saw a Jackson Hewitt table out here with an employee who was handing out this flyer. Now, what this flyer says is working or not, file your taxes and we can get the maximum refund for your family. And the paper says that if you have one child, you can get over $7,000 in a refund. And if you have up to 3 children, you can get over $14,000. So the Jackson Hewitt employee who initially handed me this paper, after finding out I was a journalist, took the paper away. That's why this one's so dirty, because a migrant ended up giving me another copy. And he stated that if he's put on camera and this goes out, that legal will have to get involved.
This stuff like this, like in all the shelters and stuff.